Welcome to the Be Smart podcast, where we teach you how not to be an idiot with your money, because there is a lot of that going around. So I've been looking forward to this episode for a while. I was thinking about it a few weeks ago, and this is what I want to say. Money is a choice. Money is a choice. So just my own personal story. I used to be in the Coast Guard. I was a lieutenant. I was making about $45,000 a year, and I wanted to make more money. Now, I wanted to make more money. I also wanted to get out of the Coast Guard, which wasn't really for me. I wanted to do something more interesting. I was interested in finance, but yes, I wanted to make more money. So I went to business school. I got an internship, and then I got a job on Wall Street. And I worked my ass off, and I got hired by Lehman Brothers. Now, I worked at Lehman Brothers for 7 years. At the peak, I made $850,000 a year. $850,000. From $45,000 to $850,000. That was a choice. I chose to make more money. I could have chosen to make less money. I could have stayed in the Coast Guard, and maybe over time I'd make lieutenant commander and captain. I'd make $120,000 a year. But I chose not to do that. I chose to make more money. And we all get to choose how much money we have. You see, if you are in a low-paying job, you can get a high-paying job. Or you can ask for a raise, or you can get a second job, or you can start a business. You can do any of these things in order to make more money, or you can stay put. If you don't do any of these things, then it is your choice. You are choosing to make less money. And maybe you have your reasons. Maybe you're a teacher. You like working with kids. Everybody likes teachers. You sort of have this social currency. You get to say that you're a teacher, you're an educator, and you love what you do. You like your job. And you're like, well, I could make more money. I could go become a real estate agent, but I really don't want to do that. I want to stay a teacher and make $40,000 a year. And that's fine. But that is a choice. That is an economic choice that you are making. You are choosing to make less money. And I have no judgment. That's fine. If you want to do that, that's fine. I'm not passing any judgment. But if you are choosing to make less money, then you don't get to complain about people who make more money. That is how it works. Let's do another example. Jeff Bezos. Now, Jeff Bezos, a lot of people don't realize this, but he used to be a hedge fund guy. He used to work at D.E. Shaw, which is a quantitative hedge fund. And he was working there in the 90s, early 90s. And he was, my guess is he was making $500,000 a year or something like that. He was making good money, And he got this idea for Amazon, and he wanted to do it. But, he was making good money. So he could have stayed in that job. He could have stayed on Wall Street and made many millions of dollars over time, but he wasn't content with that. So he started Amazon, and he went on to become the richest person in the world. And that was a choice. He wanted to make more money, though it probably wasn't about the money. The money is incidental to what he wanted to do. He wanted to build something. But once you see that money is a choice, you can't unsee it. But the reality is that most of us are content and complacent, including me to a certain extent. Life is good. We go to work. We work 8 hours. We come home. We watch some shows. Life is good. Life is easy. And we don't have too much stress. And yes, building something, starting a business, or doing whatever creates a lot more stress in your life. But it's fun. But most people are content and complacent. Now, there's all different kinds of entrepreneurs out there. They all come in different shapes and sizes. Some people make stuff out of seashells and sell it on Etsy. Some people, like me, start financial newsletters. Some people are dentists and they open dental offices. They're all businesses and they're all a lot of work. Now, the dentists, I know a bit about dentists. The crazy thing about dentists is that some of them become stupidly rich. They make a ton of money, and some of them don't. These people, they go to school to be a dentist, but they don't go to school to learn how to run a business. And running a business comes naturally to some people and not so naturally to others. But even among dentists, money is a choice. You can choose to have a $400,000 practice, or you can choose to have a $4 million practice. It's your choice. It's all up to you. Even businesses get to choose how much money they make. You have somebody that opens a restaurant and it's successful. It does well, and they say, great, I have a restaurant. Then you have someone who opens a restaurant and they're not satisfied and they open 10 more restaurants. Then you have McDonald's. And by the way, if you haven't seen the movie The Founder, I highly recommend you check it out. I think it's the best business movie of all time. The original McDonald brothers, all they wanted was just one hamburger stand. They just wanted a single hamburger stand. Ray Kroc comes along and he wants to open thousands of them. And the McDonald brothers chose how much money they made, and Ray Kroc chose how much money he made. Money is a choice. And let me tell you, I started this newsletter business in 2008. The second and third year, I was very lazy. I was choosing not to make money. I would work for a few hours. I would write. Then I would walk down to Starbucks, and it's a long walk. It's like 3/4 of a mile. And I would hang out there for the afternoon and do nothing. I was not pushing myself at all. The older I get, for some reason, the more I push myself. I am not content and complacent. I want to make more and more money off this business. But to a point, there's some things I'm unwilling to do. I'm not going to go on CNBC. No, you're never going to see me on CNBC. Some people, they go on CNBC, they pay money to go on CNBC. They'll pay some publicist like $10,000 and they get on CNBC and they're on there for like 45 seconds and they're trying to sell subscriptions. I am too proud to do that. Okay. But I want to keep pushing myself until the day I retire. More money is better than less money. Number one, I can buy stuff with the money. Number two, money is how we keep score. In my new neighborhood, there's a guy that's keeping score. He has a 15,000 square foot house. It's huge, and it's really not very tasteful. He has a garage full of Lamborghinis and Ferraris. He has a wine cellar that is run by a robot. And I can't really remember what the guy does for a living. I think he sells construction equipment or something like that. The house is a bit over the top, but the dude is keeping score. And I never see the Lamborghinis or Ferraris on the road. I would notice, this is Myrtle Beach, I would notice if there was a Lamborghini cruising down the road. He just keeps them in his garage. He's keeping score. Money is a choice. You can choose to have money or you can choose to not have money. It is up to you. And everybody across the income spectrum is capable of making more money. Everybody is, if you want to. Everyone can do it. It all depends on what your priorities are. If you want to come home and watch your shows, that's your priority. I have to, and I sympathize, right? Like, I got to tell you, my favorite time of the day is when I come home and I eat dinner and the TV's on and I sit down on the couch with all my cats, all 6 cats. And my wife and I will spend the entire evening with the cats. It is the best thing in the world, but if I have the opportunity to make more money, the cats will be fine. I can take the time. I'll tell you a quick story. From 1996 to 2003, we did not have a TV at our house, which was a conscious choice. Because we believed that watching TV was a huge waste of time. And doing anything else would have been more productive. So what did we do with our time? Well, mostly we read books. We read tons of books. I read a lot of books those days. Mostly books about finance, which is why I got to where I am today. That's really why I'm as successful as I am today, because I learned more than everyone else. But eventually we gave in and we got a TV in 2003 and I started reading less books. And now, I go home and the TV is on and I don't push myself as hard as I did back then. But I am also much older and I think it's okay to relax a little bit. What is the most important decision you will ever make in your life? The most important decision you will make in your life is what to do with the next 24 hours. And you make this decision on a daily basis. You see, we are the product of how we spend our time. We are the product of all the decisions we make on a daily basis. And there's two types of people in this world: people who produce more than they consume, and people who consume more than they produce. You want to be the first part of people. 95% of people fall into the latter category. You want to be a beacon, a source of strength, which means doing lots of hard things. You want to do hard things over and over again on a daily basis. And the person who does the most hard things in their life makes the most money. Anyway, if you are enjoying the Be Smart podcast, make sure you head to iTunes or Spotify or whatever and leave a rating or a review, because that really helps, makes me look good. And there's a couple of malcontents in the reviews, so I'd really like to send them to the bottom of the list and get rid of those guys. Also, make sure you visit jareddillionmoney.com. Take a look around the website. We just redesigned it. Sign up for the weekly newsletter. Give us your email, sign up for the weekly newsletter, and you'll be the first to know about new product releases and all kinds of good stuff. Until then, this has been the Be Smart podcast. Smell you later.